As we began fasting and praying about what our ministry would look like and what it would include, we of course wanted to make sure that we came up with a name that had significance, but would still be accessible to a large number of people. We carefully considered quite a few names before finally coming to absolute peace about the name Redeemed Royalty. Redeemed Royalty is more than just a name, however, and we wanted to share with you some of the meaning behind it. The retelling of an Ernest Hemingway story called The Capital of the World by Dr. David Wheeler beautifully captures our heart and our desire for this ministry. The story tells of a father and son's strained relationship. As Dr. Wheeler recounts, the son, Paco, had sinned against his father and fled his home because of his shame. His father, however, loved the boy and set out on a journey to search for him. After looking all over Spain, Paco's father put an ad in a Madrid newspaper that read, "Paco, meet at Hotel Montana on noon Tuesday. All is forgiven, Papa." On Tuesday at noon, the father arrived at Hotel Montana and was shocked by the sight before him. 800 boys named Paco had shown up to find forgiveness, hoping the ad was for them. This captivating story of a father's love for his son reminds us of Jesus' parable of the prodigal son. And just like the 800 sons who showed up at the hotel, countless prodigal sons and daughters today have run from God, yet are still desperate for a renewed relationship with the Father. Fortunately, our Father in heaven hasn't given up on the search. He longs for our return, and when we come back to Him, He will forgive and restore us. This story is clearly a powerful one that's becoming increasingly relevant with each passing generation. We are seeing more and more that fatherlessness is a growing problem with uncountable and immeasurable damage to society as a whole. But what does any of this have to do with redeemed royalty? Well, in the 17th century, mathematician, physicist, inventor, writer, and philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote down a series of thoughts known as Pensées. In these, among other things, Pascal wanted to answer deep questions about life, purpose, and even God. At the center of the Pensées was the human condition. You see, Pascal believed that all men and women, if they honestly looked within themselves, would notice two seemingly distinct characters. A part of each of us is glorious, beautiful, and magnificent, capable of creating great things and living in harmony and love. However, another part of us seems to be nearly the opposite. We are selfish, wretched, and deceitful. We hunger for more and often are willing to harm others in the process of fulfilling our own desires. We feel entitled to power and recognition and will do anything to experience fame. Pascal requested to his readers, "Follow your own impulses, observe yourself, and see if you do not find the living characteristics of these two natures." Berkeley-educated economist Dennis Peacock captures the essence of this internal desire. He states, "Of all the multiple tragedies on earth, few are far more personally debilitating than the feeling of being unused by God or man. It eats at the soul and devours one's self-worth, either in the church or in the marketplace. Being relevant and usable for who we are and who we are becoming is at the core of human dignity." So we are now caught in this battle of two opposite identities, while feeling desperate to know our purpose and how we are to be used. Pascal recognized how perfectly the Christian gospel described and explains this dichotomy. You see, according to the Bible, we were originally created in God's image, as His children, and as such as kings and queens, royalty, meant to rule the earth in love and wisdom. Yet through sin, mankind became corrupted, bringing harm to ourselves, our neighbors, and even creation itself, making us deposed royalty, separated from our purpose, and kings and queens that have lost our throne and damaged our kingdom. This is exactly what Christ, our Redeemer, has bought for us through his life, death, and resurrection. We no longer have to live in our identity as deposed royalty, separated from God and his purpose, and selfish, wretched, and deceitful. We are now redeemed in Christ. We are redeemed royalty. God has given us the authority and purpose that each of us yearn for, and it's glorious, beautiful, magnificent. Pascal recognized that the human condition is explained perfectly by the gospel, but this is more than a great philosophical understanding. Through Christ, when we answer the ad, like the one Paco's father posted, we are all accepted and adopted. We each become redeemed royalty. And at Redeemed Royalty Ministries, this is our focus. It is our mission and our heart to help God's children find their way back to their identity and purpose as kings and queens, sons and daughters of the mighty Creator and ruler of heaven and earth. We invite you to join Redeemed Royalty on this journey of discovery, healing, and reconciliation.